We are live. I'll tell you, New Morrisville is playing Catholic tomorrow, home opener, first game of the season at home. They're 1-1. They lost last week at Hobart 27-10, and Catholic lost at home to Randolph-Macon 59-14. So big home game. The Ville, go Mustangs. I'm wishing you guys well. I hope you have a great game. And, hey, man, I love this time of year. Football, weather, it got a little chillier today. Went to the gym this morning, getting back on track. We like that we're getting back. JD Talkin Sports. How's everybody doing today? Had a little bit of a technical difficulty, but we're back. I don't want to talk about that. All right. Hey, today is a very big day. Big day. Well, tomorrow's even bigger. SUNY Morrisville is playing their home opener tomorrow against Catholic. The two teams have never met before, but they're meeting for the first time ever. Both teams are 1-1. The Mustangs, the Ville, lost the first game, won the first game over Kane on the road. Hobart lost last week 27-10. Catholic, they're meeting for the first time. First home game of the season, first game on the black turf. And Justin's playing, and we got, you bounce back. You're going against a Catholic team never played before. They lost 59-14 to Randolph-Macon last week. So both teams coming 1-1. Let's get it done. First home game of the season. And, it's always good to see that. Coach Raby's going to have them ready to play, unlike the Giants. We have 26 days till the start of the NHL season. I know Mark and Ari are excited about that. Shana Tova to everybody celebrating. Happy and healthy New Year. I got a challah today that was really shitty. And because of my stomach problems, I can't eat pot roast or brisket anymore. Destroys me. I'm destroyed. Haven't shaved. I'm trying to go. I can try to go to Mustache, Michigan. Tomorrow is Daba's, Mrs. S's birthday. She'll be 21 years old tomorrow. Just kidding. But, hey. And it's 39 days till the NBA season starts. I couldn't remember the name of the Pirates baseball field. Forbes Field. I was talking to Carol about it. Forbes Field. I couldn't remember it. Now I do. Stockton is down in Memphis. They played in the Rhodes Classic tonight. They played Rhodes. They went 2-1. Thomas, congrats. The Ospreys are now 2-0-2. UNC ice hockey. Henry Foster, the captain, had an assist, and Patrick O'Shaughnessy had 4 goals. They won 8-1, first win of the season, and they beat Delaware 8-1 on the road. Jeez. 32-13 on shots. Killed a 5-on-3 penalty. That was in the second period. And I'm sorry, Henry Foster had a goal, power play goal, and an assist. So congrats to him, getting it done. Big win, 8-1. And Adam Dowda got his first win as UNC's head coach. Congrats to him. And you see the picture I have up. So Ionescu had said, I love Sabrina. I think Sabrina Ionescu is awesome. And she said, New York hasn't had a lot of success lately. She basically was throwing some shade on the New York Knicks, which is understandable. I mean, come on, they're not playing great basketball right now. I mean, hey, they did win a playoff series, played the Heat, a series everybody thought they should have won, which they did not win. And that's that. And yeah, I mean, you can't win them all, right? But I do love a good a thing that makes me crack up. She says, Liberty are playing best basketball in New York City in a very long time. And I thought that was great. And Courtney Vandersloot said, it feels like the work now begins. This is what we came to do. We put ourselves in a good position to do that. But there's so much ahead of us, so much work to be done. We know it's not easy, and it starts tonight. Thank you, Howard Medgolf, for that one. And Sabrina, she said, don't poke the bear. She said last time they were here, they got a little Mystics, won in the last second shot, won the regular season finale on Sunday, which probably would have, I think they would have tied. No, they still would have been a game behind the Aces for the number 1 seed in the WNBA playoffs. But, Mystics poked the bear. Sabrina Merchant posted, Natasha Cloud poked the bear. Sabrina post game, they waved us off our home court last game. And we got to show them what that feels like. 90-75. Ionescu, 29 points, 7 for 13 from 3. The Mystics were 5 for 22 from 3. So they got it done. And unbelievable. 6 rebounds, 2 assists. Game 2 is, that's what when is the Liberty schedule? I think they're playing Sunday. Their next game is really more games. The game two is Tuesday. All right, and Friday next Friday if necessary. So they're really stretching out this series over a week. Really, they played on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So the higher seed gets it's 2 out of 3, but they get the first two games at home, and then game three next, which I don't like. Well, you hopefully they sweep, but if it's a game three, then game three is on the road, and you're the number one seed. I don't know if I love that. I think I'd rather have back and forth, so you have the deciding game on your home court. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. And they got the win, which is all that matters. Army is beating Texas San Antonio, but their quarterback is hurt for Texas San Antonio. The sixth-year senior, Frank Harris, turf toe, is out, and Army is up 37-21. I want to check out the box score. And Army has actually thrown 17 passes for a buck 88 and a touchdown. They have 224 on the ground. And wow, Eddie Lee Marburger is 16-23 for 2 touchdowns, but they're just getting their asses kicked at home with 6:45 left. Yankees were down 5-3 in the 7th. And that's when and the Yankees ended up scoring. Holy shit, did they do it all in the ninth inning? Yankees were down 5-3 going into the ninth and scored 4 runs. Florial walked in a run. Volpe, fielder's choice, got 2 runs. Well, there was a throwing error, and Cabrera singled another run, and they won 7-5. So the Yankees now 75-73. Holy shit, they're 2 games over 500. The Mets, but what's his name? One of their relievers took a shot to the head. Yeah, Anthony Misowich carted off after a line drive hit him in the head. That's scary shit. But they got the win tonight. The Yankees are 75-73. And, hey, that's good. The Mets were losing 3-0 to the Reds. It is now 5-3, top of the ninth. Mets are home. I want to see what's happening here. Yeah, so Alonso homered, 3-run homer to tie it 3-3 in the 6th. And India hit a home run for the Reds, his 16th of the season, up 5-3. And Jonathan India, 247, 15 home runs, 55 RBIs. And Alonso hit his 45th home run, 112 RBIs in the season, and a two-out home run, 3-run homer. Peterson, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 earned, 2 baseball, 10 Ks. Not bad, but the Mets look like they're going to lose this one. Well, they get last licks right now. We'll see what happens on that front. Time will tell. But how about the Liberty? And then last night, that's awesome. I don't like that they're playing on Tuesday, but I'm okay with it. Yeah. Oh, what are you watching? Oh, he's watching a movie. What movie? That's what I want to know. What movie? So Josh is not around. Michigan sent me something. Yeah, I saw that. Hit in the head with a cart. And did you see this? That Michigan basketball has announced that head coach Juwan Howard underwent successful heart surgery. He can return in 4 to 6 weeks and fully recover in 6 to 12. Phil Martelli will serve as interim head coach during his absence. Holy shit. That's crazy, right? Wow. He had successfully resected an aortic aneurysm and repaired his aortic valve. Jesus. Following a routine medical check, conditions were identified and surgical procedures were scheduled as soon as possible to allow him to return. So we're going to go to doctors. You got to go to doctors. And Josh is watching. Oh, cute. He's watching Elemental with his daughter. So that's very cute. Very cute. All right. So Josh isn't here. Slow news day. People busy. It's a Friday night. Eagles, Viking, Week 2 Thursday Night Football, 15.1 million, most streamed game in NFL history. Now we have to get rid of the yips. And Gumboshev I was talking to today had Madison 8 rushes for 28 yards. He had a fumble, but the Vikings had 9 rushes for 28 yards. And then after the game, Madison received more than 60 disgustingly disrespectful messages, including several used the N-word and other slurs. You all can come at me He said, all you want about fantasy and you suck, blah, blah, blah. He wrote on Instagram, I really could care less, but this shit is unacceptable. He hopes the messages reflect on what you say. Those who sent the message reflect on what you say and how it could truly affect someone. Under my helmet, I'm a human, a father, a son. This is sick. Yeah, we're sickened by the hatred. Vikings and NFL on X, formerly Twitter. Did they ever say that? Did we just say X already? Formerly Twitter? Yeah, yeah. There's no place for this. And I feel that I would like to drive around. I don't know. There's a really bad movie when when oh, uh the guys who were in Clerks, who were outside, they went around to people who wrote shit about them on the internet, and they found the people and they got to their faces. And I feel like that's what I would like to get a crew, bring an MMA and a boxer. And we get to the houses, I go, with this you? And then they punch him in the stomach. And we videotape the whole thing. And we watch everybody get their asses kicked because I think that's disgusting. Should never happen to anybody, especially, what, dude, it's a football game. I mean, they play bad, whatever. You know what? You have a bad game, move on. But I'm not going to write this stuff about him. Listen, I say that Zach Wilson sucks as a quarterback, but I'm not making derogatory remarks about him and his family. He's just not a good quarterback. But I'm not going to go that far and make racist remarks about Madison. Really? Are you kidding me? Disgusting. And Philly doubled Minnesota in time possession 40-20. Eight times it's 259 to 28 rushing yards. The Vikes were 11-1 score games last season. They're 0-2 this season, and they have 7 turnovers. See? Luck one season turns into shit the next season. And how about the most yards? How about DeAndre Swift, the most yards rushing from a player from Philadelphia for the Eagles, 175 yards career high, touchdown in the fourth quarter where he took off. And you saw the thing with Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. Devontae Smith said, "I don't know what you're talking about," which is what you're supposed to do. It's kept in house. That stuff you move on, kept in house and move on. Cousins though, 31 of 44, 364, 4 touchdowns, and quarterbacks that throw 4+ touchdowns with 125+ passer rating and a road loss. And Bill Kenny for the Chiefs at San Diego. Rodgers, Packers at Minnesota. That was 2012. Bill Kenny was in 83. 2015, Eli Manning in New Orleans. I think that was the big scoring game. I remember there was a back and forth with Breeze. And this year, Cousins at Philly. Hurts was 18 of 23, 228 total yards, 3 touchdowns, interception, 12 carries, 35 yards, 2 touchdowns. Listen to this stat. Most games with 2+ rushing touchdowns by a quarterback in NFL history. Cam Newton, 10. Jalen Hurts, 9. And Jalen Hurts has played 101 less games than Cam Newton, which is pretty awesome. Justin Jefferson, 11 for 159. No touchdowns. He did have that one ball. That would have been a big play, but it wasn't. T.J. Hawkinson, 7 for 66, 2 touchdowns. And Addison, second straight game with a touchdown, 3 for 72 and a touchdown. And Frank Michael Smith put this up. And I think this is kind of like asinine for the highest paid NFL quarterbacks to never make a Super Bowl. Kirk Cousins, 232, which still blows my mind. $232 million playing football. And he's going to make another $100 million playing football, guaranteed. So they're talking about the Jets. Greeny wants them to trade for it. If they start going downhill, he wants Kirk Cousins to come play for the Jets. Tannehill, $196 million, which is crazy. Derek Carr, $166. Dak Prescott, $162. I was listening today to the ESPN. They had on Brandon Jacobs, the former running back of the Giants, and he felt that Daniel Jones is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott, which he said if Daniel Jones had the line that Prescott had, we wouldn't be talking. I mean, that's what he talks about, how he has no line, and he's running for his life the whole game and all the pressure at almost every snap. So I don't disagree on that. He's made $162 million playing. Deshaun Watson, $143, not even close. I mean, you talk about the only guy. I mean, at least Kirk Cousins made the playoffs. Tannehill's made the playoff. Carr has made the playoffs. Dak, Deshaun, has he ever made a playoff game? One, I think. Josh Allen, $113 million. Lamar Jackson, $112. Kyler Murray, $99 million. Jones is, he just signed it. And so I thought that. And Jameis Winston, whatever. Okay, come on. I mean, let's move on. And yeah, Jalen Hurts had a hell of a game. Yeah, I mean, and Devontae Smith wide open. Hey, Jazz has joined us. Hey, Jazz, how you doing? Good to see you. Hope you're well. Send him my love. And congrats. I talked about Stockton already. Stockton got the win today. 2-0-2. Your son, double T, T squared. kicking ass and taking names. Yeah, a lot of turnovers in the game. But so the Eagles visit the Bucks next week, and the Vikings host the Chargers. So we're going to see what happens on that front going forward. Jordan Davis for the Eagles on one play took four guys out, and Philadelphia Eagles partner with Kevin Hart's tequila brand Gran Caramino. Yay! Yeah. Later this season, Gran Caramino will host a sweepstakes for fans to win season tickets and exclusive tequila tasting event with Eagles legends. I'd rather pass. Now, I guess they were. I didn't hear this part. I was doing the podcast, but they were talking about, Jalen Carter. When he was drag racing and those kids got killed. Actually, an offensive lineman and a manager was killed in a car accident. And Edward has said they explained why he was drafted lower than his talent would have suggested. Still won in the first round. So let's not be. I mean, it's like he didn't drop precipitously. He dropped a little bit, and why he was available. What's wrong is you casually dismiss his mistakes when one of them contributed to an accident that killed two others. And someone was like, the rest of the world has made some mistakes. No, I don't think it's uncalled for. He was drag racing, and he's been in trouble since then with drag racing. So I feel like, and we had the thing that happened with the former Bama and the who's the Raiders guy who got in the car accident. Raiders car accident. You know what? I didn't say that. I said Raider car accident where Henry Ruggs, 156 miles an hour, killed a woman and her dog in the car. That's serious shit, man. That's serious shit. So let's be honest. That is stuff you have to talk about. It's not good. It's no bueno. No bueno at all. So I disagree. I feel like it's, you got to tell people that they do bad shit and they should be called for it. Yep. Totally agree 100%. I'm cool with it. Cool with it. Talked enough about that. And Jets, we're actually targeting Brett Ripien, who the Rams elevated to the 53 when Stetson Bennett hurt his shoulder, and then he's off for a non-football injury list, I guess. So they weren't able to get him. They were searching, maybe getting him. Kirk Cousins, the Jets. Yeah, come on. Aaron Rodgers said, definitely have some odds stacked against me based on age, but I like it. Stock all the odds against me and see what happens. And Aaron Rodgers said he has a rehab plan in place that will shock some people via Pat McAfee show, which will be on every week. And I said, so be ready for like week 12, week 13 this season? Is that what's going to happen? And, and if Zach Wilson gets hurt, you know who the emergency quarterback is after Boyle? It is Randall Cobb is the emergency quarterback. God help them if that happens. And Greg Zuerlein is injured, not practicing groin injury. I would think a groin injury might be a problem for kicking, but we'll see how that works out going forward. Taylor Decker, the left tackle for the Lions, is doubtful Sunday against the Seahawks, their home opener, and that could be a problem because you got to protect Jared Goff. C.J. Stroud, questionable with a shoulder injury. They host the Colts on Sunday. I saw Andrew Thomas with a hamstring for the Giants, the left tackle. He's questionable. I guess we'll see. J.C. Horn for the Panthers. I talked about him. Hamstring, he's headed to the IR. Will miss 4 games. Could miss more. Could need surgery. We'll see if that happens. And the Bears defensive coordinator, Alan Williams, won't travel to Tampa for personal reasons. So Matt Eberflus is going to fill in as the defensive coordinator. Sean McVay is talking about Cooper Kupp. He hopes he'll be back when he's eligible to return in week 5 from the IR. Austin Eckler is doubtful. That means Joshua Kelly. If you don't Joshua Kelly, which I was going to look to see if anybody, Joshua Kelly, that's what I wanted to look at. Joshua Kelly. If he's available, then I was going to be like, maybe I'll swipe him up, but I think someone has him. I'm thinking about adding him. I'm thinking about getting rid of. Do I add him? Who do I drop? No, I don't want to drop. No. I'm thinking about. Maybe I got to think about this. Okay, I got to think about this. That's a big move on my part, but I think he's going to get a lot of playing time this week. And do I take a chance? I I don't know. I feel like it's week 2 and I'm already panicking. So I don't know. But I'm thinking about it because I feel like if Eckler doesn't play, he's going to get a lot of carries. And they're going to play the Titans. So we're going to see what happens there. And how about Andrew Luck? Retires at 29 in 2019. You know what he's doing now? Well, he's going to Stanford for, what is he getting? A graduate degree? That's what I think I read. And he's working. The Mercury News said he is an assistant coach at Palo Alto High School, a half mile from the Stanford Stadium where he played college football. They said the kids love it. The Vikings coach Dan Geronimo said, per Simon, Luck didn't want to be interviewed. Helps out 2 days a week working on his master's degree at Stanford's Graduate School of Education. Can you imagine that? I'm going back to grad school. He never, you know what? He was great. He finished second for the Heisman 2010, 2011, and was dealing with concussions. Got out of football, and they said he was coming back, and he's done. I remember 29 retired. Everybody was like, "What? He's done? He hasn't come back." So I guess we're going to see what happens. But he's an assistant coach. He's getting a graduate degree in education, and he's coaching high school football, helping out a team. And doesn't want to be interviewed because it's not about him. It's about the kids, and I like that. Respect. And why does it do that? Jerry Jeudy, hamstring, they said he's going to play this week, which would be great for the team. That would be fantastic if he plays because Broncos need a lot more than, so we're going to see how that goes going. So who are they playing this week? Yeah, they didn't pass the game week 1, 177 yards and 34 pass attempts. Nope. Samaje Perine, 4 catches for 37 yards. So we'll see, I guess we'll see. And they're playing Sunday against the Commanders. So get them on the field if you can. We'll see what happens on that front. Cowboys. And what did John Makata put that Cowboys playing turf, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb. They like to play in grass. Micah Parsons said he play in concrete. That's the same thing Quinn Williams said. Dak said he's young. I thought that was funny. Brandon Cooks, sprained MCL. Unclear for play against the Jets. Thank you, Ari Myra, for that. RG3 is launching a new NFL podcast. He's hot. He's Hanson hot. He's hot. Yeah. Yeah. The new podcast, RG3 and the Ones. Guests across the NFL will join the team. Oh, and Cheryl Meyer, realtor, is joining us. Not Cheryl Meyer. Cheryl Meyer, the realtor. Shana Tova there. Cheryl Meyer, the realtor. Getting her hair done by her sister, Lisa. Looking good. Looking real good, Cheryl. Looking fantastic. Send him my love. Yes. So he's doing a podcast. And I said, what about Willie Gault? Remember Willie Gault on the Bears? Justin Jefferson in 52 games has more receiving yards, 5,134, than any player in the Chicago Bears' 103-year history. He's 24 years young. Yeah, Shanana. Send him my love there, Cheryl. To Brent, too. And the kiddies. So Justin Jefferson, more receiving yards, 5,134, almost 15-yard catch in 52 games, 4th year. This year already in 2 games, 20 catches for 309. Gault, I looked up his stats. With the Bears, he had 333 catches for 6,635 yards, 44 touchdowns in 170 games. 170 games. And in 52 games, that was done in 5 seasons. Well, in 4 seasons, Jefferson, 3 in 2 games, 52 games total. He has 344 catches. And he's only 1,500 yards behind Gault, who did it in 172 games. He's done it in 52. Unbelievable. That was Gault's career stats. I'm sorry. 170 games, 6,635 yards, 44 touchdowns. With the Bears. Love you. Love you too, Cheryl. That was career. In 5 years with the Bears, 76 games, 184 catches, 3,650 yards, 27 touchdowns. Really? That's how, Jefferson's going to get a huge contract. Huge. He is phenomenal. And he said he worked this offseason to beat double teams more. They can't stop him. He's only going to get better. You only can hope to contain him. I'm like, holy shit, is he awesome. And really, Eli, he said you got to get out there on the field and play. You got to understand what the market is and what it isn't. The running back position just isn't paid as much. Thank you, Eli. Wow. You have to get out there and play. No. If you don't think you're getting what you're worth, why hold out? You know what? Why accept it? I'm glad that I know they, Harris and I talked about this a lot about Saquon, that his agent screwed up and they didn't get that. He could have made 12. What, he could have made another 20, 25 million guaranteed. He got like 10, get 11 if he hit certain numbers, which did not start off well the first game. And you saw that Josh Jacobs held out. He got a little more money. But these guys are on 1 year deals. They only, and next year they could be franchise tag, like Chris Jones on the Chiefs. He could be franchise tagged another year. And I feel like players, it isn't a long career, and they should get the money they feel that, if they feel they deserve the money, and go for it. I think it's easier for you to say, get out there and play. But guys are like, hey, I feel like I deserve a certain amount of money, and I want to get paid what I feel I'm worth, my worth. I agree. Get what you're worth. And also, the NFL is also trying to stop, drives me crazy, that fix some rules going forward. Fox NFL rules analyst Dean Blandino, I love that. Dean Blandino told SI Sports Illustrated the league is cracking down on legal formation penalties, specifically when tackles are not aligned with the line of scrimmage. It was out of the league's weekly training tapes sent out to officials. Jawan Taylor, yeah, way too far back. Yeah. And he kept doing it every goddamn play. Yeah. Getting away with the move for virtually the entirety of the season opener last Thursday, which I totally agree with. They'll be aware going forward, and they're going to have to tone it down. Oh, and also I saw Amon-Ra St. Brown did a little hip thrust when he got the first touchdown in the NFL season. And NFL was like, no, you can't do the hip thrust. And, it's just crazy how many guys are hurt. Like, guys are questionable. Seattle, Abe Lucas, shoulder procedure, but Seattle's mum on them. There's guys, 4 starters I talked about on the Ravens are out for this game. Chase Young's going to make his debut this season at the Broncos on Sunday. And Kelsey, Travis, and Chris Jones will play versus the Jaguars. We'll see what happens. But, every week someone's nicked up. Gumbo Chef is Pakua, and he had an oblique problem. Well, think about it. Oblique is your sides and you got to turn and everything. Listen, that would keep out Max Scherzer for about 15 baseball seasons. Hell yeah, a long time. And how about the Buffs? Game Stay stops by on Saturday, and Lee Corso will make his 400th headgear pick. And The Rock said that Coach Prime is changing the face of college football. I feel like he's a little late to the party. I feel like they've been saying that for a while, that he's changing the face. And, Jay Norvell didn't like that Dion said, take your hat, glasses and hats off. Well, he got his pair of his signature blenders, gave to everybody on every football player. He said they didn't realize they just helped me with business, because everybody now wants those blender sunglasses, which I think is kind of funny. And he gave it to the commentators too, because Game Day and Fox are going to be there for the game tomorrow. And how about this? Last year, the average ticket price last season for Colorado was up 122, but nobody showed up. They went 1-11. This year, 517. It's even more average ticket price than the dump. And they could go 3-0 tomorrow. They're 23.5 point favorite over Colorado State. I mean, that's kind of crazy, right? I mean, that's wow. I mean, that is crazy. Favored by 3 touchdowns. Now, this is the thing. So then after they play Colorado State, then they go to Oregon next weekend, and they have USC at Boulder on September 30th. So they got 2 tough games after this one. But 3-0, listen, anything they do, once they start winning and believing in themselves, sky's the limit, man. I mean, they'll just keep it going. I don't think it's going to stop. LSU defense has been dreadful. They play Mississippi State tomorrow. Harold Perkins last year was going crazy. They really haven't used him pressuring the. Listen, I would love LSU to have a terrible year. I cannot stand Brian Kelly. If there's one team I want to see go down, it is LSU. And I used to love LSU, but I can't stand Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly brings a stank to your program. He finally got everything he wanted, and he's not winning. You suck. And Joe Milton, this is from Bill Connolly, ESPN. Threw the ball out of the stadium, but he's completed just 2 passes over 20 yards. Well, they're going to go to the Swamp, where since 55, they've been there 20 times. The last time they won there was 2003. Florida sucks. Vols are going to come pissed off, and they haven't won there in a long time. They're going to try to do it this time, and we'll see what happens and get it done. Bama is making a switch at quarterback. Tyler Buckner, the transfer from Notre Dame, is going to start over Jalen Milroe. I guess they didn't like how he played against Texas. So it is going to be, they're playing at South Florida Saturday, 3:30. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Buckner, who transferred from Notre Dame in the spring, took the majority of first team reps in practice. Milroe started the first 2 games, 2 interceptions. I thought he didn't look that great. And also he has history because Tommy Rees was and Buckner were both at Notre Dame last year. And Buckner did do mop-up duty, 56-7 win over Middle Tennessee, 3 of 5 for 27 yards. Started as he was starter at Notre Dame, got injured the second game, returned for the Gator Bowl, 5 touchdowns, throwing 3 interceptions, including a pick 6, but they beat South Carolina 45-38. Milroe didn't even get a shot, man. 2 games, and he says he thought about taking him out, but then he started playing better. It just messes with the psyche of your quarterbacks, man. It messes with your psyche of your quarterbacks. It's rough. So I just feel like, damn. But hey, that's why that's why Saban gets paid the big bucks. Gets paid the big bucks. And how about this? G.J. Kinn took 39 players from the transfer portal, 14 from high school to make 53 scholarship newcomers at Texas State, over half of the 85 scholarship limit. But I tell you, they were a 27-point underdog. They beat Baylor week 1. They lost to Texas San Antonio last week. Yeah, it's crazy. Kid grew up, son of a high school coach in East Texas, and played at Gilmer High School before going to University of Texas and transferred to Tulsa and playing for Gus Malzahn. Bounced around the NFL and CFL before starting his coaching career. 2022, last year, he was at FCS Incarnate Word. One season, they reached the FCS semifinals with the North Dakota State. And he flew from Fargo to his new job in San Marcos to begin assembling a roster. Not much time. He said, I want the job so bad. He said, while coaching an Incarnate Word, through the playoffs, players who had contributed heavily for the previous staff at Texas State were leaving through the portal, which in all 23 players transferred out. That's a lot of players to transfer out. There were, guys didn't fit in. He felt a responsibility to do right by players he was inheriting from the previous staff that had already transferred at once. And it became clear that undergraduate transfers weren't going to be granted waivers to transfer multiple times anymore. And he said defensive back DeJordan Mask went to play for Kinn's old coach Gus Malzahn at UCF. Defensive lineman Devon Sears went to Oklahoma. Yeah, they went to a lot of different schools, man. Dalton Cooper went to Oklahoma State, where he started in week 2. He said, but it did not. But it's interesting. Texas State did not inherit. He also inherited a program that did not feature a significant foundation of developmental bodies because the previous staff had all but eschewed high school recruiting in lieu of taking junior college and transfer players, which is not good because you have to have. And if you keep bringing guys every year, you just keep thinking you can add these guys. You gotta have a base of kids locally, which they didn't do. In 2021, Texas State did not sign a single high school player in its December or February signing classes. Texas State was by necessity, as opposed to Colorado was largely by choice. He had holes to fill. Unbelievable. He said they should treat each job on a case-by-case basis as far as a large-scale overhaul is concerned, although many acknowledge that around a 20% roster turnover rate is probably the norm moving forward in college football, which I think is true. I mean, these kids have yeah. And Texas State added a coach with deep Texas high school ties since 2015. He plans on signing around 15 high school players moving forward. Yeah, I mean, why not? He said, there's something to be said for signing the high school kid and developing him from Texas. Just matters. Some kid from New Jersey or some kid from Michigan. It's just different. Texas State is not going to be mean. It's not going to mean as much as it will for a kid that's from Austin or San Antonio. And many transfer board have Texas ties. 4 of Texas State's 5 offensive line starters came with Kinn from Incarnate Word. The 5th, Bray Walker, hails from just outside Norman and bordering Oklahoma. I mean, it's pretty cool, man. He got guys from Incarnate Word, but he got former Auburn and LSU quarterback TJ Finley to transfer. He said, I was out in New Braunfels, kind of a date night, and I've had some liquor coverage. I had Finley's number and called him, just gave it to him straight. I think he kind of got fired up after that call, to be honest. He had a couple of P5 visits lined up. I was able to say, I want you to come to us first. When can you get here? That was Sunday. This was Sunday. He said, I could be there on Wednesday. He got here Wednesday, and I knew that was the key to getting him. And it's pretty cool, man. You know? Wow. I mean, that's awesome. And just this stuff. He was with the Eagles, where he initially worked with general manager Howie Roseman, writing scouting reports on Arkansas and SMU players because he previously worked there. He also worked with legendary Eagles offensive line coach Jeff Stoutland as an offensive assistant, which fostered a passion for the evaluation process. And they said he looks for critical factors Stoutland looks for in every player and his attention to detail. Jordan Mailata, former rugby player in the 6th round. Jason Kelsey helped in evaluating future Hall of Famer Lane Johnson, who was seen as a reach when the team selected him with the 4th pick in 2013. Johnson and Ken are close friends, and he credits both his stints as a player and exposing him to a high level of diamonds in the rough. Yeah, he says, I'm doing Google searches on every kid. I'm doing deep Twitter searches on every kid on Instagram, Twitter. He goes, being in different spots of being in the NFL and being a college, different, being all different places, he goes, I know if I can trust the guy, if I can't trust him. As player at the FCS level and had to use other slogans because they couldn't afford a Pro Football Focus. Listen, I mean, Texas State, one winning season since coming up to FBS in 2012. Richard Johnson, awesome article. I saw that. I was like, that's awesome. I mean, you come into a school and, he goes to Incarnate Word. He's going to Texas State, gets a win against Baylor the first game. They lost to Texas San Antonio last week, 2013. But he's building something here. And get local. He is a rising star in the Philadelphia. How they 27-7, 20 Jefferson. He gets the first down 34-21 doing his flapping arms and shit. I don't get that stuff. It drives me crazy. Like Heisman 2023 hopefuls, guys, we played 2 weeks. Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Jordan Travis for Florida State, Quinn Ewers, guys, can we stop? Can we stop? 2 weeks. Well, week 0, 3 weeks, whatever. No, too soon. Like where teams ranked? Bullshit. So Iowa State's playing Ohio. The Bobcats are 0-8 against the Cyclones, but Iowa State is not good. Yeah, they're not playing good football right now. No, playing at Southern Miss. Their Battle for the Bell rivalry renewed their 2020. Tulane played well, but they didn't have Michael Pratt. And we'll see what happens. Southern Miss got blown out by Florida State. James Madison versus Troy. He's on NFL Network. And Troy's a good team. Troy coming, 12 straight wins? James Madison's 2-0. That should be a good game. San Diego State versus Oregon State. Yeah, the Beavs, I mean, they're playing good ball. And you're talking about, they talk about San Diego State going to the Pac-12, not coming. You have Washington and Michigan State, and you just have enough said right there. Mel Tucker suspended. That could get ugly. TCU at Houston. Houston lost to Rice in overtime, and TCU lost opening game to Colorado, who beat the shit out. I mean, that was a good game. That was a tight game. And this is the Big 12 debut coming Saturday for Houston. That's on Fox at 8 p.m. Horned Frogs have won the last 8 games against Houston, although the Cougars lead 13-12 all time. And, they're talking about Texas, that they keep saying they're back. Texas is different. I agree with this article I saw in The Athletic. Yeah, nothing fluky. Quinn Ewers, 24-38, 349, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. That's the thing. No interceptions. Yes. Yeah. 3 drops by a UT. Yeah, different guy. A UT source says of Ewers, he's way more comfortable and more of a proactive leader. Yeah. Trenches. They said they haven't looked anything like this since the Mac Brown era, and I'm talking prime Mac years. They said it's a stark change from how UT, which has only had 2 offensive line drafted in 15 years, used to be. Sarkisian put together elite staff, special team coordinator Jeff Banks, offensive line coach Kyle Flood, defensive line coach Bo Davis, Texas defensive coordinator Pete uh, Kwiatko. Yeah, these are some of the best minds working for him. Yeah, he has a guys that are working, the best of the best, and they outplayed, outcoached, butt kicked. They beat the shit. They did. They beat up. They beat up Bama. Yeah, against Alabama, UT generated 5 sacks and 9 tackles for loss. The Longhorns' offensive line didn't allow a single sack and only gave up two tackles for losses in the game. Yeah. They want to know maybe the SEC isn't ready for the horn. Listen, I would love this for Dom and Al to like go on a run here, or like have a run, like a glory run where they just keep kicking ass. And next year, Hal wants to go to the Michigan game, September 7th, 2024. We're going to the Texas A&M game next year. I'm going to see him play Houston, October 22nd, I think. I'm excited. I'm very excited. We'll see what happens. Yes. And then this lawsuit, DeSanto Rollins sues Lane Kiffin University of Mississippi handling of mental health. Said he was kicked off the team for missing practices and meetings during a mental health crisis. He's suing them for failure to provide equal protection, racial and sexual discrimination, and multiple other allegations. He's a backup lineman dealt with marred by injuries, suing for 10 million in compensatory damages and 30 million in punitive damages. Really? Really? $40 million? The lawsuit alleges that Kiffin intentionally took adverse action against Rollins in account of race for requesting and taking a mental health break, but not taking adverse action against white student athletes for the same request. Sexual discrimination on the basis that Ole Miss has not taken adverse action against female student athletes for requesting and taking a mental health break. So sexual discrimination because the women they gave mental health breaks to, but not the men. Ole Miss said they haven't received a lawsuit. And they said he was never removed from the team or removed from scholarship. Yeah, and they have alleged they have uh they have alleged state. Oh, so the thing is, lawsuit. Rollins suffered multiple injuries during his career with the Rebels, including concussion, spring of 2022, an injury to his right Achilles tendon that July. He suffered severe depression, anxiety, frustration, embarrassment, humiliation, a loss of sleep, and loss of appetite from an injury to his Achilles. Okay, it could happen. And then he was reinstated. The staff provided him with materials about mental health or a mental health referral after the injury, reinstated practice the following month. And in August, he aggravated a previous injury to the LCL on his left knee. He suffered from severe depression. So 2022, he met with defensive line coach Randall Joyner for an exit meeting. And Rollins said Joyner tried to persuade him to enter the transfer portal. He declined. January 6th, his grandmother died of this year, and he continued to suffer from severe depression. February, met with Kiffin, said he was moving from defensive tackle to the scout team's offensive line because he wouldn't transfer. Rollins asked Kiffin if this was a choice or command. Rollins alleged that Kiffin told him if he didn't like it, he should just quit. Rollins said he was going to take a mental break. Went to his car and immediately called strength and conditioning coach Nick Savage and reiterated his need for a mental break. His mother, Connie Hollins, said she called the school's athletic trainer, Pat Jernigan, and told him Rollins was suffering a mental health crisis. She requested Jernigan get a counselor to speak with him. Guess what? If I have mental issues and I'm not diminishing them, I can't not see my fucking boss. When you were told again and again the head coach needs to see you, wasn't to make you practice, wasn't to play a position you don't want to, okay? But if you can change my position, I won't have mental issues. I guarantee if we fucking called you in and said you're playing defense, would you have mental issues? I definitely would, Rollins said. Rollins is saying, I mean, you're acting like my issues aren't real. And Kiffin said, I didn't say they're not real. You show up when your boss wants to meet with you. It wouldn't have been like this if you wouldn't have come here when you kept getting messages the head coach wants to talk to you. You say, I'm not ready to talk to him. If you would have come here when you get messages, coach calls you should come see him. I wasn't. What fucking world do you live in? He said. I didn't see why you have to be disrespectful. That's what Rollins said. Get out of here, Kiffin said. Go. You're off the team. You're done. See you. Go. And guess what? We can kick you off the team. So go read your fucking rights about mental health. We can kick you off the team for not showing up. When that coach has to meet with you and you don't show up for weeks, we can remove you from the team. It's called being a pussy. It's called hiding behind shit and not showing up to work. Yeah. Yeah. His mom said no person should be subjected to this type of abuse when they're suffering mental health crisis. He just wanted some time to get through his grandmother's death. Wasn't even spring ball yet, but I don't care. Could have been a regular season. Sometimes everybody needs a break. All right. So we'll see how it goes. And that's some hard shit, man. That's oof. Now they can't. They said they can't verify this, but it, that's some. I mean, like I call you, you show up. You take a break when you want to take a break. I mean, you hope the kid. Listen, I mean, kids today. I mean, they also had COVID and everything. I don't know. I mean, I, I think this happens at a lot of schools. I really do. I don't think this is like a one-time deal. I think this happens a lot. But crazy, right? I saw that. Wow. And Kiffin is kind of a dick. I've always thought Kiffin got early, got into coaching and everything. Everything happened really, really fast. Yeah. So I mean, I never really liked him. I think he's a pretentious prick. I really do. Pretentious prick. But hey, that's just me. Yankees and Red Sox failed to make the playoffs same season, 2014. Before that, it was 1993, 30 years ago, before there was wild card. And they had the series opener at Fenway. They only had 30,000 fans, which was the lowest attendance at a Red Sox Yankee game since 1999, not including COVID restricted seasons. That's a lot. And I read some. Oh, and Chaim Bloom was fired as GM, like a scapegoat. I mean, they did make the playoffs every goddamn year, but sounds like a scapegoat. And then Rodon, they worked Matt Blake, the pitching coach. They wanted to use his lower half more efficiently to be more directional toward home plate. Listen, anything that helped. 1 run over 5 innings with 9 strikeouts against the Sox. Hey, anything to get him better because they have him around for a long time. He threw his changeup and curveball, his third and fourth best pitches, 20% of the time, a season high, and most in his last. So they're trying to get him to be. He was too predictable, Blake said, with his mainly a 2-pitch pitcher, and they'd be ready for that. So you gotta have a repertoire. You gotta have options. So very interesting. I thought that was kind of interesting, and hopefully it'll carry over next season. And Orioles, Rays, play. This is the last time they play this season, and the Rays. What was the score of that game? Trying to see a score. The Rays. Okay, Maryland was down to Virginia 14-0. They beat him 42-14. How did Tua's brother do today? Hey, 19 to 33, 42 and a touchdown. They're 3-0, but they started 3-0 on other seasons and they kind of shit the can, jumped the shark, whatever you want to call it. Stunk it up. So today I saw that the Rays were up 4-0 and up 7-1 over the Orioles. They're tied for both are tied for first place in the AL East. Wow, they caught up. They were 3.5 games behind, and now Baltimore is up, and Baltimore and Tampa Bay are tied for first in the AL East, and one of them's going to be a wild card. How crazy is that? Baltimore's 91-56. Tampa Bay is 92-57. Baltimore's lost 4 in a row. They're 5-5 the last 10, and Tampa Bay has won 3 in a row. They're 8-2 the last 10. Wow. Atlanta's won 96, and Tampa Bay's 4 games behind them. Wow, that's crazy, right? That is nuts. Wow. They caught him. And one of the teams they said to watch out for is Miami, which plays Atlanta this weekend, but then will face just one winning team in its last 12 games. But they were losing to they came back and they beat the Braves 9-6, and Acuna went out. Arias homers twice. And it's Uriz. Ariz, I was butcher his name. But Acuna got hurt. Did he get any? No stolen bases. And any home runs today? No. And Miami. 349, but how many home runs does he have? 9 home runs in the season. Damn. He's having a season, man. 9 home runs. Damn, 66 RBIs. 193 hits this season going into today. Wow, that is awesome. And it was Roberto Clemente Day. I saw Aaron Judge had on special yellow and black cleats. How about this today? Royce Lewis, first player in MLB history with 5 Grand Slams in his first 16 career at-bats. He hit his 4th of the season tonight for the Twins. And the Twins were playing the... That came over? Twins, are they still playing? The Twins are up 10-2. They beat the White Sox. And Royce Lewis, 1 for 2 with a grand slam, 14th of the season. He also has 50 RBIs. Unbelievable. 14th of the season, 16th of his career. Jesus Christ. I mean, he's hitting the shit out of the ball. He's been red hot, entering the day with a .323 batting average in his last 45 games. Second of the month. All 4 have come since August 27th, or an 18-game span, shortest in which a player's hit 4 Grand Slams in MLB history, according to the Elias Sportsboro. And this is for my buddy. This is for my buddy Jason. Joe Musgrove, throwing program ended the season. They said not related to any setbacks, but they're down in the standings. And Musgrove said his recent buildup wasn't for nothing, adding there's peace of mind in knowing that you're healthy. 10-3 with a 3.05 ERA. I guess they're trying to keep him healthy. And how about this? Nobody born after 68 has won more games than Mike Bucina's 270. And nobody's born after 72 has won more than Andy Pettit's 256. But Verlander at 40, 255 wins, 141 losses, 3.25 ERA, 221 seasons, 12 seasons of 15 wins or more. CC Sabathia won 205. Yeah, Verlander. There was a point where you didn't think they were going to catch him, but Sabathia lost steam, 5 wins short of Pettit. So he finished with 251. But I guess we're going to see what happens. Kershaw is 50 behind Pettit, 220. And Verlander, man, still got a shot. Pitches a couple more years. He might even catch Bucina. It's attainable. I mean, right now he's 15 behind. I mean, I guess we're going to see what happens. But I thought it was kind of interesting. I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. And a better, the guy who bet on Alabama baseball games, Burt Neff of Mooresville in Indiana, banned from all of the state's casinos and sports books. Remember, he bet on the Alabama baseball games for the head coach. The head coach got fired. What a mess. What a mess that whole thing was. I'm just like, good God. He bet 195,000 on 16 different points during the match to win over 280,000 on a tennis match between Casper Ruud and Guido Andriazzi at the Mexican Open. Oh my God. I mean, just crazy. Wow. These gambling's out of control, man. Just crazy. And they say the U.S. women's national team, they have the Gold Cup of the Olympics less than a year away, and they Vlatko and Andonovsky resignation after a disappointing World Cup that they have to get a new coach. Right now, Twila Kilgore, Andonovsky's assistant, is leading the team for the September and October friendlies, but they got to get a coach in because it's, got to get moving. Before you know it, there's going to be games. And I don't know if there's a Cascadia rivalry between Seattle and Portland, longest standing in the NWSL. They'll be for the 38th time in all competitions on Saturday. It will be Reign and U.S. Women's National Team legend Megan Rapinoe's final regular season game against Portland, and possibly her last at Providence Park. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So Cascadia fans excited for the rivalry. Pretty cool. In Nebraska volleyball, they're number 4, defeated number 5 Stanford Tuesday 3-1. First regular season road win against a top 5 team since 2017. Stanford versus number 2 Louisville, and number 1 Wisconsin versus number 3 Florida on Sunday. Congrats. And the Phoenix Suns are giving away TV antennas to fans. In April, owner Matt Ishbia announced plans to ditch cable TV, instead broadcasting 70-plus games on a local channel and tripling availability. Now fans can fill out a form, and the Suns will ship them an antenna for free. So that's kind of cool, right? Ship an antenna? And Victor Wembanyama games last season, they said they're doubling down on covering prodigies. I don't disagree with that. I mean, they're starting younger. I mean, they're trying to get the next generation because LeBron's retiring and they're only all getting older. Why not? If they don't get, and the Heat, if they don't get Damian Lillard, Tyler Hero could be the point guard for the Heat. And Usman Garuba, two-way contract with Golden State. The former Rockets first-round pick is coming off averaging 8 points for rebounds for Spain in the FIBA World Cup. I saw that. There's all these players out there all over the world. And that's a guy that maybe can, start G League and whatever. And it's a name you'll hear about in a couple of years. And Jared Vanderbilt, 7.7 rebounds, 2 assists last year, 4 years, $48 million. 4 years, 7.7 rebounds, 2 assists translates to 4 years, $48 million in the NBA. And the top women WNBA player gets $250,000 for the season. Jared Vanderbilt, $12 million a season. If you win the WNBA playoffs, you'll get $20,000 per player. First round, you get $1,616. $1,600. Don't spend it all in one place. Crazy, right? Rich Paul has done nearly $900 million in players' negotiations. Congrats to him. Dartmouth basketball players filed a petition to unionize, joining multiple other college athletic petitions across the country. Dartmouth is a private school. It does not offer athletic scholarships. So I don't know how that's going to work. But, hey, unionize. See what you can do. I thought I had something on my face. It's this, my facial hair. Michigan does not like it. And this was Candace Parker and Angel Reese. She's ripping the sport open and tearing back the layers. Her tenacity and confidence of the court make her such an exciting player to watch. It's incredible to see her stand in her power and make such a big impact on women's basketball, especially this early in her career. She is named to Time Magazine's 100 Next list for 2023 women's sports for 2023. Next list. I'm sorry, for 2023. Yeah, I mean, Angel Reese, the NIL money off the court, all that stuff. Wins a natty at LSU. South Carolina was supposed to be the team. They didn't get it done this season. I mean, damn. I mean, that's pretty impressive, right? So, congrats to her. How about this? 28% increase in average time spent watching women's sports in the UK so far this year. A bump largely due by the Lionesses. That's women's soccer deep run at the FIFA Women's World Cup. 466,000. The average for Tuesday's NCAA volleyball showdown between number 4 Nebraska, number 5 Stanford. Most watched regular season volleyball match in ESPN history. 627,000. Tune in for each WNBA game this year, driving the league to its most watched regular season in 21 years. I talked about Coco Gauff, the largest viewership for a Grand Slam final. Crazy, right? It's awesome. It's great. Now, get them paid. I mean, I know, listen, I know they're not going to get $12 million a year, but come on, $250,000 playing basketball, and they have to play a shitload of games, and they don't make enough. $250,000 not enough. They have to go play overseas. So you can't play basketball here and overseas all year and not have injuries and problems going forward. It hasn't translated to money for the players. I mean, it just seems like they take one step forward and 2 steps back. And UFC tomorrow night, the Noche UFC, Alexa Grasso against Valentina Shevchenko. Grasso, they both weighed in at 124.5. That's crazy. I think I weighed that in first grade. It's going to be Saturday at T-Mobile in Vegas. They first met at UFC 285. Grasso defeated Shevchenko by a 4th-round submission to end Shevchenko's 4-year title reign. Grasso's undefeated since coming up to 125 in 2020. So congrats to her. Grasso ended Shevchenko's 9-fight win streak. Pound-for-pound rankings, Grasso sits at number 2, while Shevchenko number 3. There are 22 fighters competing on Saturday's card. The co-main event is Jack Della Maddalena and Kevin Holland. But I guess he made it for the non-title welterweight bout. And then A-Rod. Alex Rodriguez asshole. He was forced to admit he used performance-enhancing drugs when he met with federal agents in 2014 to discuss the infamous biogenesis clinic. He also provided names. He named names of 3 former star players who supposedly used the same source. 1,400 ESPN's Mike Fish obtained roughly 1,400 pages of documents from the U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration investigation into Anthony Bosch's biogenesis clinic. A part of the investigation, a prosecutor granted Rodriguez Queen for a Day status, which meant A-Rod could share anything with authorities without having it against him in later legal proceedings. Of course. What a douchebag. What an asshole. He said he admitted for the first time to using PEDs he had purchased from Bosch. He told investigators he paid Bosch roughly $12,000 per month for testosterone creams, red gummy-like lozenges containing testosterone and human growth hormone. But he denied it vehemently that he used PEDs in public. Also named Ryan Braun, the third All-Star whose name was redacted. Unlike Rodriguez, Ramirez and Braun, the third player who was named by A-Rod, never tested positive for PEDs and was never suspended by Major League Baseball. Whereas Rodriguez, Ramirez, and Braun were all tested positive. So he was on a report from CBS 60 Minutes claimed Rodriguez's camp leaked documents, and that's a rat. That's a rat. That's like an asshole. Like, dude, really? Really? You felt you had to do that? He's a douchebag. I never liked him. And he's like a god in ESPN now. His freaking daughter goes to Michigan. So there's all these pictures of him taking his daughter to Michigan with his ex-wife. I mean, he cheated on J-Lo, cheated on everybody. He's a womanizer. Pissed, and I'm glad he's seeing him on the K-Rod broadcast. I can't stand him. I find him so fucking annoying. I heard the pictures. Yeah, I don't really care about those. All right, so Army won 37-29. Going college football tonight. Air Force is up on Utah State 39-21. Trying to see if there's any, I don't need top 25 scores. I need football scores, man. There's another game tonight. Come on, got to be some college football tonight. I even watched Miss Congeniality last night. I loved it. Yeah, that's it. Ruck and Vatek at 3:30. Hey, Josh has joined. Yeah, dude, you're extremely late. You're watching Elemental. I totally understand. Don't worry about it. I'm almost done. I was trying to see Long Island playing Baylor. I was trying to see the game. What time is the trying to see what time the Oklahoma's playing at Tulsa, Northwestern's playing at Duke, Iowa's hosting Western Michigan, and Washington, Michigan State's at 5 p.m. What time's the Colorado game, dude? I cannot. Wait, that's Pac-12. Let me see. Washington. What time is Colorado State is a night game? Ah, fuck. I thought it was a day game. It's on 10 o'clock local, and they're there, and it's not until night. Fuck. Dude, I'm not staying away for that. No way. That's way too late. Yeah, I'm done. Nah. Okay. Well, I thought it was a noon game. No, 10 p.m. That's late, dude. I'll be watching UFC and football. All right, let me get to some trivia questions. Dun dun dun. Da-da-da. Here we go. All right. Last show's trivia question was, Josh. I did 2 shows yesterday. Went a little crazy. Sunday, Tua had 466 passing yards. Tyreek Hill had 215. What was the last time a quarterback wide receiver duo had 450 plus passing yards and 200 plus receiving yards in week 1 game? 2012, 2007, 1994, never. 94, when Dan Marino and Irving Fryer in a 39-35 win over the Pats. Marino threw for 473 and 5 touchdowns, 3 to Fryer, who finished with 211 receiving yards. It was Marino's first game back from his infamous Achilles injury, and Miami finished the year 10-6 to win the AFC East. A good omen for Finns fans. So that's the second time. Wow. First time since 94 that a receiver had over 200 yards receiving and a passer had 450 plus yards. Before last week in 2023 was 94 Marino and Irving Fryer. Damn. All right. Back on September 13, 1996, Charlie O'Brien became the first catcher in MLB history to wear a hockey-style mask while playing for which team? Charlie O'Brien became the first catcher in MLB history to wear a hockey-style mask September 13, 1996 while playing for which team? And that's all I got for today. So, Josh, I know you're watching Elemental. Thank you. Cheryl, Jazz, thanks for reaching out. Stockton, Ospreys got a win tonight. UNC hockey 8-1 over Delaware. And my boy, a power play goal, Henry, the captain of UNC hockey, a goal and an assist, a power play goal. Mr. O'Shaughnessy had 4 goals and a big win today, first one of the season for them. SUNY Morrisville tomorrow, kick Catholics' asses. Kick their asses. UNC beat the shit out of Minnesota. And Michigan beat up Bowling Green. And to top it off, Juwan Howard, get healthy, man. I'm glad they found out that, they did the heart surgery for you. That's scary shit, man. So send my love. Tomorrow's Daba's birthday, Mrs. S, Michigan's mom. Happy birthday, pre-birthday. Mom and dad, love you. Carol and Carol. Josh, I'm glad you got to spend quality time with the kids watching Elemental. That was awesome. So everybody have a great night. Peace out, and I'll talk to you soon. Adios.